Going on, my friends? I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table. And hey, we're looking at something that's very new to me. Battletech Beginner's Box. And by no means am I a beginner, but I keep in mind that I have not bought any of the box sets in over 20 years. My most current version would be from the late 98 era, 99 era, because I don't remember buying any rule sets in the early 2000s. And by 2003, I had bailed out for a number of reasons. So, about a month back or so, I got Red brought up on his channel about there being a humble bundle or bundle something, and I went and paid $30, and I got like a slew of PDFs, and I think a couple of you mentioned that you got them as well. In that bundle was this. And of all the items there, this is actually only physical item that was on the list. And what you did was they gave you a code. You went to Catalyst, and then you paid the shipping. And so it cost me $7 and some change to have this shipped to me. So I have never. This is my first option to get this, and it occurred to me a little earlier when I was looking at it that if you already own this sort of stuff and you manage to got that bundle and they get a free copy of this thing, this will make an awesome gift to somebody that is either new to the gaming period, and may show some interest in it, or is new to Battletech, and would be, with the holidays coming, this would make an awesome gift. If you got a kid or grandkid that you're wanting to introduce to the game style and to the system and things like this, this would be an awesome thing to start out with. And I have not seen this on other people's videos because I just haven't bothered to go look, because I wasn't really thinking I would be buying something like this, if ever. So it's kind of a double deal here for me. I'm gonna get the box open right without tearing it up. Back in the day, I used these boxes. These was a pretty tight box. The boxes used to be a little looser, a little less robust, I think. And what I'm really looking forward to is the mechs, because I understand that there's a couple. It comes with a set of mechs, and let's see, we've got the Golden Rule, and this is Colby's Commando mission. Get my glasses off my head, and our equipment, a little bit of basics, mostly the story. Short, it's too short to be a novelette or anything, but it looks like it's something I'd be interested in reading. Mech record sheets. These are cards. I take it. I've never had any of this sort of stuff. And my stuff is the old school stuff. Just pointing out the obvious. Right. Now, this is all right. So you used to get the control sheets, or whatever you wanted to call them. So this is a history. Basically, this is a clip of something you would get in a TRO from what it looks like. This here, and then your record sheet. So this is a modern version of the record sheet. Nothing wrong with it. Looks good. Looks clean. I'm impressed with it. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I mean, makes you wish I had some people here to break it out and run a game. And just get some good old stompy robot play going. Like I said, I come into understanding that there's a local group that gets together at Mayhem Comics every Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock to play Battletech. I don't know how big the group is or how robust it is and how often they're there. They have a Facebook thing that's kind of, every now and then somebody posts something. It's mostly somebody showing off their artwork for their current mech that they're painting. That's another thing that I kind of wish I miss, and I'm looking forward to the possibility of getting into, is painting. So it only came with 2 mechs. I don't know, for some reason I thought there would be more than that in here. And we have cards. Sure, why not? A couple more dice to add to my massive dice collection I already own. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so this is my first plastic. These would be the first plastic mechs I've ever owned. And they look about the same size, the same scale as my Raul Parthlas, which are in a box buried under a stack of stuff over there. I'm not going to get them out. And that's a Vindicator and a Griffin by my long rusty eye. I am looking at the possibility of trying to paint them and seeing how that turns out. The Mayhem is one of the only 2 game stores within the greater Des Moines area, and it's the only one that actually carries a little bit of Battletech material. I kind of get disappointed, even though I know there's not going to be a lot there when I get there. It's just like an afterthought shelf stuck in right down at the end of the row where all this GW stuff, game workshop stuff dominates, like 3 rows of stuff, and then here in this one partial shelf, you know, at the end toward the corner is a few Battletech items that they may have bought and stuck on the shelves. They currently have 3 packs, blister packs for mechs. I think there's a heavy inner sphere box set, and there's a Com Guards box set, and then there's a Clan box set in there. And they're, well, one of them's like $25. So if you break that down, about $7 an item, which realistically isn't that awful more expensive than the original Ralph Partha stuff was when we were buying them. And the difference is that you bought to buy them in a set of 4, where in the old days you could just go in and there'd be a whole rack full of Ralph Partha minis, and you would buy the individual mechs and tanks and aerospace fighters and things like that. And it didn't come as in a group set, so you were buying in bulk if you want to look at it from that perspective. So I think we'll keep these in the box for now until I share what I'm going to do with them. My wife, her main hobby is etching and painting mirrors. She goes and buys mirrors at garage sales, and she's repurposing them, and she does landscapes and flower arrangements and birds and stuff like that. So anyway, we got our beginner box quick start rolls from Catalyst. All right, always some nice looking stuff. Basics, pretty much everything here is the basic stuff that started out in the 80s. I mean, when the basics work, don't change things, right? I mean, that's should be a caveat for most things. So, I mean, the instant guide to the inner sphere, a little who's who and what's who, so you get a flavor and taste of what's going on. Then we have the Iron Wind Metal. So this is who replaced Ralph Partha, and I went to their website a while back and looked at some of their stuff, and they got some good work. They're a bit more expensive. Let's be honest, they're a hell of a lot more expensive. The metal, I have mixed opinions. The metal tends to be a bit more fragile. Now, I don't know what these are made out of, but I know the original Ralph Partha stuff was made of lead, and that made them soft and easy to break if you weren't cautious. So here are the modern versions of the paper cutout, or cardboard cutouts, and those are actually very nice. I like this. I'm going to show you, and I'm pretty sure I've done this once in another video, but the older style stuff, this was how it come, and I have quite a few in here. I've got a lot of Clan and inner sphere mechs and things like this. I've got everything I need. You don't need minis. The beautiful thing about that game system, you don't absolutely have to have minis. And then we have markers like, here's a 21st Centauri Lancers, I think, and here's a FedCom unit marker, and then I went as far as made extra ones. There's a Black Widow on the back of this one, so and so forth, and then here's a Scimitar hover tank I made for one of my own personal units. Slimer's Hammers Hover Armor Company from back in the day. So, and that was, here's a ferret. It was something I like, because you got a handful of these little armored vehicle chits, but they kind of left it up to you to what they represented and so on and so forth. They varied a little bit in size based off of the tonnage. At least that was the theory anyway. So there's a Condor for my would-be mech armor company, or my mech command's armor support platoon, or was a Lancer company. I want to say it was a company, because I tried to have I was having a mix, but an armored battalion with support. So, along with my mechs and things like this. So, and then on a pinch, when we were short-handed, I would take other cards. So obviously this one represents an archer, and we would write on the back, this is a Grasshopper heavy mech just so we could throw them in the field if we wanted more than what we had, the size and so on and so forth. Now some of these came from my original box set, and the rest of them came with this here. This is the reinforced Battletech reinforcements, additional units for the Battletech universe. So put that over here on the way. And so, like I said, these are much more robust. They also, by looking at these base stands, were better thought out. And then I'm guessing these are just additional modules to alter the map itself. And this is your standard traditional Battletech hex map. And is it two-sided or one-sided? I suspect it's two-sided because of those. Yep, there we go. So we got two different terrain factors. I think it's a little smaller than some of the older maps. The older maps, I'd have to get one out and compare it because they might be the same. It just might be my imagination. But yet, here we go, yet another map, which is good. And the one thing about hex maps that I've always really enjoyed is you have a big enough table or floor space, depending on what you're choosing to use. At my age, I don't think I'll be getting on the floors anytime soon. You could put these maps back to back and in squares and make much bigger arenas to play in. So there you go. Anyway, this is the beginner box set for Battletech, and I think this is very nice looking, very set up, professional, much improved over the old stuff, but that's to be expected. Keep in mind that the game's been around for damn near 40 years, and it's went through a number of owners and revisions, and you expect to see improvements in all kinds of things. I mean, you just look at the art. There are artists out here, Battletech artists out here, who grew up literally with this as, their childhood toys and interests. So, it's a great thing. This was well worth my $7. I mean, I don't think I'll ever get another Battletech item that cheap, and it went to charity. That was my understanding. So, hey, I hope you guys have a great weekend. We're at the beginning of the December for 2022, and the holiday, Christmas is coming up before you know it. This would be an excellent gift for somebody. Just saying. And hey, if you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell anybody else that's in the gaming industry or gaming fandom that says, hey, this is a channel worth checking out, right? Till next time, I hope you guys have yourself